doctors in cancer care and treatment. UW student athletes helping raise cancer awareness to make a difference in the Madison community. Learn more at uwbadgers.com/exactscience.
Well, the NFL draft now just a week away, though Packers fans will likely have to wait a little bit longer than that to see their team on the clock. Green Bay does not have a first-round pick this year or next year, thanks to the trade for Micah Parsons last summer. Instead, their first selection expected in Friday's second round at number 52 overall. In total, they have 8 picks over the 3 days. And the Badgers were on the field this morning for practice number 9 of spring. They're going to be back out there on Saturday for a scrimmage. Got a total of 15 practices overall this spring. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil-Prin.
His last time up shows bunt, gets it down. It's a good one. Heineman spins and throws him out. Hamilton shows bunt, gets it down. Tough play here. Throw to first. Not in time. 1-1. There's the bunt. It's on the ground. Mitchell's going to score. The throw is in time. It is a perfectly executed safety squeeze by Joey Ortiz, and the Brewers have a 2-1 lead.
But what's your sense of the importance of the bunt right now? You saw that on both sides.
I think it's coming back. You know, I think it's obviously a very difficult thing for a pitcher. I think it's legit.
This is where Wisconsin gathers to talk sports. Packers, Brewers, Badgers, Bucks. The Wisco Sports Show is on the air. Now, here's your host, Grant Bills.
The play-by-play from Brian Anderson, that was the bottom of the 7th. 3 straight bunts. That's how the Brewers broke the 1-1 tie and ultimately won. They won 2-1 this afternoon. They won the series. Pat Murphy making a little bit of a joke, I believe, with Adam McCalvy in the postgame presser about the importance of the bunt. A lot of bunting today, and the Jays dropped down 1 or 2 as well. And I'll give you his full comments. I kind of have to abbreviate to make it fit the intro. He gave a long answer, a thoughtful answer on bunting and, you know, why they do it. And I think why they're doing it now is a little bit of an extenuating circumstance. So we'll get to a little bit more from Pat Murphy. The Brewers won the series somehow. You know, it's this belief. We heard it in the opening week of the season. You should never doubt the Brewers. Why do you ever doubt the Brewers? And I feel like I doubted the Quinn Priester trade. I didn't like the Durbin trade at first. And I've been down on the Brewers the last week. And the lead of yesterday's show, which I felt great about, was if the Brewers can't win a game like Tuesday night's game or Monday night's game or whenever, we would have been reacting to Tuesday's game. If the Brewers can't win games like Tuesday night's game, then they're in trouble. And I felt really good about that take because with this offense and their injuries and their bullpen struggles, when you have a 2-run lead late in a game and you can't slam the door, and when you get a big home run from Jake Bauers and you get a late home run from your backup catcher, Gary Sanchez, like if you can't win that game, then I don't know what games you're going to win. And then, of course, what do the Brewers do? They win 2-1 last night and today. Because, of course, you should never doubt the Brewers. But I feel good about my take from yesterday. It's going to be hard for the Brewers to win games. Really gutsy, gritty, ugly wins, needed wins. But gutsy, gritty, ugly, and based on what we had seen really since the end of the Red Sox series, the weekend over the weekend series against the Nationals, and then the first game of this series against the Jays, after the last week or so, and watching this offense and their bullpen, I didn't think they had it in them to win 2-1 games on back-to-back days. But of course they do it because they're the Brewers, and they always do the thing that you think they can't do. I should know by now. I know. I should know. This is the Wisco Sports Show. My name is Grant Bill. Should be a fun show tonight. We'll react to the Brewers to start, a little bit of a de facto post-game show. So if you want to jump in and talk Brewers and you got something to say, I'll take you right away if you're ready. 608-321-1670. Otherwise, I think the first couple segments will probably talk Brewers. I'll give you some post-game audio from Pat Murphy, some post-game commentary from Vinny Rottino. I thought he hit the nail on the head. I was watching a little bit of the Brewers post-game show on Brewers TV in the last hour. I have a Packers thing that I want to discuss, and Justin Garcia is going to be here in the second hour of the show. Honestly, because I love Justin, and there's a couple of basketball things that I want to discuss. A little bit with the Bucks, a little thing or two with the play-in, a little thing or two with the Bucks coaching search going into this offseason. And if I didn't love Justin so much, and if he wasn't such a fun guest to have on the show, then maybe we just skip the NBA. But given there's no massive breaking news with the draft or with the Packers, and we'll have plenty of time to do the Brewers and the Bucks, I want to do that in hour number 2. before we turn things over to Zach and Ebo, Thorson and Halpern coming up at 6 o'clock. But first, I'll give you a thought on this game and last night's game. Both wins, 2-1. Reminded me a lot of a football game. And I don't like comparing sports. I don't like crossing sports. I think it's done too often in sports radio or sports media. It's like, well, which team do you have the most belief in? Which team do you think is the next to win a championship? And those can be fun sports talk radio topics. I just think it's really difficult to compare college football to baseball, the NFL to baseball, the NBA to football, because the Bucks are in a very different position in their league than the Packers are in theirs, than the Brewers are in theirs, than the Badgers are in theirs. But I think there's a football comparison to be drawn here watching the Brewers today. The Brewers last night and today operated the way the Badgers football team did maybe in Paul Christ's last year, or maybe in his second to last year, in that second half against Nebraska, when they just handed the ball off like 25 straight times. You remember that game? Or a more recent example, the Packers against the Vikings in the first game this year at Lambeau, which I believe was the Sunday before Thanksgiving, if I remember correctly. Every once in a while in a football game, and I could think of those two examples, a coach and a team will realize, okay, we are the better team. We have an opportunity to win this game if we just don't F it up. It doesn't need to be pretty. It doesn't need to be sexy. We don't need style points, but if we just do one or two very basic things, we can get out of here with a win, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Right? The Badgers, and I can't remember what year that is. Vagabond John's probably yelling at his radio right now. He'd probably tell you what day it was. He'd probably tell you, what Paul Christ was wearing. I think it was a Christ game. They just handed the ball off like 20-something times to end the game against Nebraska because they realized Nebraska can't stop it. Yeah, it's not sexy, but we just really need to get this win, and it's in our grasp if we just do the bare bones and the boring thing and just run the ball. And the Packers against the Vikings, when J.J. McCarthy was healthy, that game before Thanksgiving, said, all right, McCarthy's terrible. We don't respect him. Josh Jacobs isn't even playing. We're just going to give Emmanuel Wilson the ball 30 times. We'll punt from midfield. We'll kick 5 field goals. We don't care. This is a game that we need to win, and we can win if we just do a couple very basic, boring things. And I think the Brewers right now, with their injuries on offense and with their question marks in the bullpen, had an opportunity last night and today getting great starts, career best starts from both Chad Patrick and today Brandon Sproat, who is excellent. I thought he could have kept going. I thought Chad Patrick could have kept going last night too. And I'll give you Pat Murphy's comment on that from the postgame, why he made those decisions. But they got great starts, and I think the Blue Jays offense is really struggling right now too. And the Brewers find themselves in the 6th or the 7th inning in a tie game or with a 1-run lead. And Pat Murphy and the Brewers staff and some of these decisions that they're having their hitters make at the plate are just saying, okay, if we just get a bunt down, if we just get a sac fly in the air, if we just move the guy over, if we can just scratch one run across, even if it's ugly and gritty and not fun, and even if we don't feel like we're a better team, like I don't think the Brewers are a better team today than I did yesterday. I think their offense still has massive limitations right now, and that's not surprising. They have a bunch of good hitters hurt. And I think there's still question marks in the bullpen. They're the same team they are today than they were 2 days ago. But it's really important in a long season when some of those hitters are going to come back and be healthy before too long to just, how can we scratch out a win today? By hook or by crook? How can we just get it done? And I think that's perfectly exemplified today in the 7th inning when I don't know how the first runner got on, but there was a runner on first. It might have been a single. It might have been a walk. Who cares? I'll pull up the play-by-play just so we have full information if you weren't watching the game today. Garrett Mitchell walked. That's how the inning started. Garrett Mitchell walked and got on to first. The next 3 hitters were Greg Jones, David Hamilton, Joey Ortiz, Brandon Lockridge. That was who was due up. And in a 1-run game in the 7th, Pat Murphy and his cohorts are probably thinking, okay, if we just get Garrett Mitchell the second, we have an opportunity here. Jones bunts, almost beats it out. Really good play by the catcher. So there's runner at second, 1 out. David Hamilton drops down a bunt. Catcher can't make the play. I think it was the third baseman actually. Throws a little offline. Runners at the corners. All right, Joey Ortiz, let's him. He can bunt too. You know what? Screw it. Just hand the ball off again. Just get this run in so we can get a 2 on instead of a 1 on the scoreboard. Forget about hopes and dreams of a bigger inning. Brandon Lockridge is on deck, for God's sake. It's not getting better and easier. The next hitter that gets the play, just drop down a bunt and see if we can't get him in by hook or by crook. In fact, that's how I think they scored their first run too. if the Brewers offense was healthier and they were hitting the ball better, I don't know that Bryce Terang scores on that sac fly because I don't know if he runs. It wasn't hit all that deep. But I think the state of this offense right now, we're going to push the envelope on sac fly opportunities. And with Joey Ortiz at the plate in less than 2 outs, we're going to have him drop down a bunt because even if it's not sexy and even if it's not pretty, it gives us an opportunity to win a baseball game. We just need to tread water. This is a tread water type of win. So I feel no better about the current state of the Brewers today than I did yesterday. But I think it shows a lot of seeds and a lot of grit to just how can we steal 2 wins when we have a late lead. And I haven't even probably given the bullpen their due. I didn't think after Tuesday night's game that they were capable of closing out a game with just a 1-run lead. But McGill was good today. Uribe did the job last night. Aaron Ashby appeared today because of course he did, because the day ends in Y and Pat Murphy's in charge of the team. Mostly really hideous baseball games. Thoroughly unenjoyable. But with a bunch of hitters injured and a bullpen that's struggling to figure out if you can just win games in the meantime and win a series in the meantime, like that'll do. That'll get us to tomorrow. That'll get us to the next series. That'll get us a day closer to the return of Jackson Chourio, Andrew Vaughn, Christian Yelich. I think buys a little bit more time for McGill to figure it out, for Zerpa or Uribe to continue to figure it out. If Koenig's going to get healthy, I don't know. I'm not going to hold my breath there. Just if we can just tread water and get some wins. And it reminded me of instances where our football teams have just realized, okay, we can win this game 17-10 or 14-3 or whatever. Just hand the ball off and let's get out of here with a win. That was the approach by the Brewers last night and today. And God bless them. I didn't think they had it in them. I'll take some of your Brewers phone calls here. 608-321-1670, Wisco Sports Show. Who's this?
Hey, Grant, Clemhead Mike from Chippewa.
Clemhead Mike in Chippewa Falls. Is it your birthday today? I heard Bill mention this. Happy birthday, if that's the case.
Yeah, it is. Thanks. I appreciate that. 69 years old. I was born in 1957. There was only 48 states. So that even makes me feel older. So
50s. Were Alaska and Hawaii really, were they 59?
59 and 60, yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? When you think about it. Nobody, I get there people with that one all the time. They never, what?
Because it feels like it would be like 1859.
Yeah.
But Wisconsin wasn't a state until 1848? 48. So it feels like it's way longer ago. Man, you're older than Alaska and Hawaii. How's that feel? How's that feel, Mike?
I never thought of that. Thanks. I never thought of that one.
You're wiser than Alaska and Hawaii. You're not older.
Yeah,
you're wiser. True. You're more stately even. You've been stately longer. Yeah. Look at it that way.
Nice. Thanks, man. Yeah, I was just going to say, if there's anyone that can use an analog between football and baseball with a perfect analogy, handing off the ball and hitting bunts, it's you. You're probably the only talk show host in the country that can pull that one off. Well done.
I'm no Colin Cowherd with a marriage analogy, but I can take, Paul Christ's ugliest game ever. I think it was a Paul Christ game. Or we all wanted to kill Matt LaFleur after they beat the Vikings that game. Why? Go for it. Go for it on fourth down. He's like, no, we're just going to hand it off and kick field goals because J.J. McCarthy stinks and we can just get a win. That was the approach.
Right. Yeah. Well, I listened to the Brewers game on the radio today. I haven't done that this season yet. I just sat in the garage drinking beer.
Oh.
I thought I started drinking early today. I figured it was 5:30 somewhere. It was 1:30, but I figured it was 5:30 somewhere. So I've been drinking beer all afternoon. So if I sound a little off, that's probably because I've had a few. So I'm going to have a few more.
Oh, boy. Oh, yeah. Any plans to celebrate? Where does one celebrate in Chippewa Falls?
Well, I'm just going to lay low today. My wife's making me some grilled steaks on our Traeger flat top grill, and that thing does an excellent job. I always thought I missed the grill marks, but I don't. The Traeger works really well. So that and some other food, and I'm drinking. So we're having the grandkids over for my birthday party next week. So we might go somewhere.
Well, you can go out this weekend. It's really more of a week-long event. A birthday for you, a 69th birthday is not just a day. It's a couple of days worth of a production. So you can do that this weekend.
I'm getting calls and texts all day, so that's kind of fun too. So
it's a reason to catch up with people. I don't love birthdays, but if I get to talk to, aunt, uncle, friend, it's kind of fun. Well, happy birthday, Clement.
Yeah. No, thank you very much. And thanks for taking my call. Talk to you later.
Yeah, of course. Enjoy the steaks tonight. Clem had listened on the radio in the garage. I watched on TV today, and I'll reiterate, and maybe this makes me sound whiny. You don't have to agree. I'm not enjoying this team right now. Even when they're winning, I'm not enjoying this team. But that's not really the point. If you could just scratch together wins. I didn't enjoy the Packers beating the Vikings that Saturday before Thanksgiving either, but they're not all going to be first-round picks. They're not all going to be super entertaining. Sometimes you just got to scratch a win across, especially in baseball when the season's so long. Like, we wanted the Packers to look sexier and have style points. This baseball team right now does not need to be anything when they're starting Greg Jones and leading off with Brandon Lockridge. If you can just scratch some wins together, that's all you need. Let's take another call here. Wisco Sports Show. Who's this?
Hey, Grant, Jeremy. How you doing?
Jeremy, excellent.
Good. Glad to hear it. Hey, just a little shout out from Eau Claire to Clem Hedmike there for birthday. Happy birthday.
Chippewa Valley Brothers. I like that.
Yeah, you got it. That football reference you brought up, I thought that was kind of funny because it reminded me of the Patriots game where Bill Belichick, they threw the ball like one time.
Yeah.
What game was that? They just ran the ball like every single play.
That was against the Bills, and that was the game. Now, the funny thing about that game is it probably killed Mac Jones's confidence, but it was really windy. They just decided, we think we can just hand it off a million times and win the game. Right. There was a strategy decision of, we're not going to try to be perfect and sexy. We're literally just going to try to win because that's all we're concerned with. Yeah. Great example.
Right. Yeah. And, this team, I do feel a little bit better about it because we talked last night before the game now, and I brought up the defense thing. And I feel a little bit better because right after we have that call, we watch these games. And one thing I want to point out is we didn't have any errors.
Mm-hmm.
No errors. The defense was clean.
None today either.
Baseball is a three-pronged thing. You got hitting, pitching, and fielding, right? And if hitting goes down, that's fine. You're going to still be okay because there's always ways that you, as we've seen the last couple of days, you can generate some offense, right? But if you have bad pitching and the fielding is bad at the same time, there's not enough offense in the world that's going to save you.
Yeah,
like you're going to get cooked. So
a very thin margin for victory for a team like the Brewers right now. You're exactly right.
Right. So I think that's the first thing that I'm optimistic about is they clean that up. Get back to what the Brewers do well, which is play excellent defense, keep a really clean game out there. And then, the offense will generate itself. And they did. I mean, like to your point, they had to bunt their way through it, but they did, and they won. And that's all that matters.
Yeah, the one thing that matters today, Jeremy, have a great night. Appreciate it. Go celebrate with Clemhead. The one thing that matters today is they're 10-8 and not 8-10. I don't feel better about their offense. I feel a little bit better about their bullpen, I guess. That's something we can talk about. I think another thing, no errors, Jeremy. They also didn't issue a ton of walks. They only issued one walk today. And I believe it was it Sproat? Yeah, it was Sproat. So the starter, Sproat today went 6 2/3, 4 hits, 1 run, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. None of their bullpen guys, Ashby, McGill, Zerpa, no walks. That's a necessity right now. Last night, I had to pull it up. They issued 3 walks, 2 from Patrick, 1 from Ashby, and I think it was a 2-out walk that ultimately didn't hurt him. You can't make errors. You can't walk guys. When your bullpen is shaky and your offense is limited, you can't give away freebies. It's like a football team with a bad offense. You can't commit a lot of penalties. You can't make it harder on yourself. So this Brewers team has a thin margin for victory, and they walked that margin these last 2 games. So stealing 2 wins that you probably had no business getting, or you had, these weren't games that you were running away with. Just notching 2 wins and being 10-8 instead of 8-10 that's the takeaway today. One more call here. Wisco Sports Show. Who's this?
Grant, great win today. Win ugly. Win how you can. Do it any way you can.
Yeah, cone roller. I agree. I think Sproat was probably due. I was actually kind of excited to watch Sproat today. I just think I have a hard time thinking he's as bad as we've seen him be so far. And I don't want to say that he was due, but I was kind of waiting for a start where it all started to come together. And the Blue Jays offense has been poor. So I know I saw you tweeting about this too. It's not like I predicted a good Sproat start, but I was actually, for whatever reason, kind of excited to watch him pitch today.
Yeah, I was just going to say game MVP right there. And Trevor McGill, is he back?
He might be. I honestly think, I don't know if McGill's stuff was any better today. And I don't know if Zerpa's stuff was any better. And Vinny Rottino talked about this after the game. I'll play this audio next segment because he articulated better than I can. I just think not blowing it. Even if the fastball was no better and the location was no better, just getting out there and posting a 0 and feeling better and not having a pall kind of hanging over everyone's head, that's huge too. You're right. And that was McGill. McGill was awesome in the 8th today.
Yeah, and I love seeing him chirp the Blue Jays manager a little bit.
Dude, he's crazy.
McGill seems like a pretty intense guy.
Yeah.
So, maybe that's just what he needs to, get going. That and nobody booing him.
Well, that makes a difference. He was asked about that, I saw after the game, and he said he appreciated the standing ovation. I also think the booing thing was way overblown. Like, of course he was going to – any pitcher in that spot was going to get booed. I booed the Brewers on opening day when I was there last year. It's just a thing you do in the crowd. It's not a big deal.
Agreed. And speaking of boos, Devin Williams, happened to see him last night give up a grand slam. Hate to see it.
Mets?
Yes.
Are they playing the Diamondbacks down there? I guess I haven't even paying attention.
No, they're playing the Dodgers, but I just saw John Boy or one of those accounts aggregators.
So you saw the game on
Devin
TV.
Williams.
I assumed you were there. Okay, you were just watching. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Sorry about that. That's funny. I do want to mention Cone. I appreciate it. I do want to mention, by the way, I believe the Mets, if they played today, I'm not sure. I'm just checking here. The Mets have lost 8 in a row. Correct. They are at the bottom of their division. $400 million, David Stearns. Just anytime, honey, you want to put a winner on the field. Anytime. Anytime, David. We'll take a break. More of your calls and some really good post-game commentary from Vinny Rottino talking about just the vibes, for lack of a better term, around the bullpen and why last night and today was huge for that.
This is the Wisco Sports Show with Grant Bills on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Wisconsin weather doesn't ease into spring. It keeps you guessing. That's why your windows and doors need to handle everything. Hello, Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. We build for year-round comfort. Now get 0% interest until 2030. That's years of no interest, so you can upgrade now and pay over time. Plus, enjoy a free in-home consultation, expert installation, and a 10-year limited warranty. But order by April 30th. Scheduled today at PellaWI.com.
The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 3 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 2 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 1 minute. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 30 seconds.
The narrative around this team has been the bullpen is faltering. 6-game losing streak. They win one. Okay, can you back it up and win another one? They can. And it was behind the great work from those 3 guys out of the bullpen. Of course, Sproat as well. We'll talk about him in the next segment. But it was the bullpen that really stepped up. And again, it would be easy to kind of crumble or at least feel that pressure a little bit, choke off your slider a little bit, not have great command. None of them did that. It was awesome. They stayed present, as Murphy loves to talk about, staying present, meeting the game halfway, all that, and they did their job.
Vinny Rottino after the game, as I obnoxiously am, I think I'm contractually obligated to remind you, UWL Eagle Vinny Rottino describing the situation with the bullpen after the game, and it's the first statement that he made, said the narrative around this team right now is the bullpen is faltering. Now, sometimes I don't like the word narrative because it's not really a narrative. The bullpen is faltering. It's happening. It's not something that we're, saying. It's not something we're making up. The bullpen is faltering. But it also is the narrative. It's the vibe. It's the feel. It kind of feels like no matter what reliever goes out there, they're going to gag. They're going to blow it. And while McGill's stuff has been down a little bit and Uribe's stuff has been down a little bit, I think Zerpa is better than we've seen him be in the last week. I think McGill and Uribe are better than we've seen them in the last week, even if their stuff might be a tick down. I thought last night, Uribe to go out there and slam the door in the 9th was just so huge. Not just for the win. It's huge to secure the win. But it was also huge kind of for everyone in that bullpen to probably just go, okay. Because if Uribe goes out there last night and blows the save after he displaces McGill as the closer, who blew it the night before, then it's like, okay, well, no matter who we send out there, they're going to blow it. No matter who we send out there, they're going to gag. It becomes the narrative. The bullpen is faltering. There's nothing we can do. We can move guys around. We can give McGill a couple of days off. It just doesn't matter. Uribe going out there and slamming the door in the 9th last night was just so huge, not to just get the win, but I think it also provided maybe a little relief to everyone else in the bullpen. So when McGill went out there today, he didn't feel like, well, here we go again. Or when Zerpa went out there today, he didn't feel like, well, here we go again. So to just lift the lid and let a little bit of the pressure out, I still have concerns about McGill's stuff, and I have concerns about Uribe's stuff too. And I guess I don't know what to make of Zerpa yet. I'm not smart enough. I'm not baseball savvy and nerdy enough to really tell you, is he getting enough break, and is the arm angle looking right, and is the velocity there? I don't know. But Uribe's pitched a ton the last couple of years. McGill's pitched a ton. Their velocity is a little down. They don't look as crisp. But for Uribe to go out there last night and get the save, it almost like everyone in that bullpen had to go, okay, we're not cursed. It's just a little bit of a rough patch. And I think Uribe just seeing that one shot go through the hoop maybe gave a little confidence to Zerpa and McGill, who went out there today. And, Zerpa got the save, but McGill had to go out there and face the top of the order in the 8th. Just that, 2 days after he blew it, it's not like he spent 10 days on the IL. It's not like they shut him down for a whole series. He just blew a game 2 nights ago. It's been less than 2 nights ago, technically. Less than 48 hours ago. And I think McGill and Zerpa probably felt a lot better about going out there today after Uribe did his thing last night, because everyone kind of got to go, okay. And I'll play that first part of the comment from Vinny Rottino one more time, because I think he's articulating it better than I am.
The narrative around this team has been the bullpen is faltering. 6-game losing streak. They win one. Okay, can you back it up and win another one? They can. And it was behind the great work from those 3 guys out of the bullpen. Of course, Sproat as well. We'll talk about him in the next segment. But it was the bullpen that really stepped up. And again, it would be easy to kind of crumble or at least feel that pressure a little bit, choke off your slider a little bit, not have great command. None of them did that. It was awesome. They stayed present, as Murphy loves to talk about, staying present, meeting the game halfway, all that, and they did their job.
I think Uribe is the MVP of the week last night, going in there and slamming the door. I didn't watch McGill on Tuesday night either. I was laying in bed Tuesday night. I was locked into the weather. I was double screening. I had the Brewers game on the main screen, the big screen, and then on my laptop, I had channel 3000. I was just all over. I was just weather maxing. And I'm going to be back tomorrow because it looks like more tornadoes and stuff. And this morning, I was looking at flood reports. Like, it's just my life now. It's just my life now. I just care about the weather. As I said, that's something that I'm into now. I've just reached that point in my life. But when the 9th inning came up, the top of the 9th, I said, all right, well, I'm going to go take a shower, because I'm a shower before bed guy. People who don't shower before bed, I question. I don't know how you can sleep covered in the filth of the day, but not the point. So I go to shower. It's like, whatever McGill's going to do, I'm not, that's going to happen. I'm not watching that. And then last night, much of the same. Here comes Uribe, and to the shower I go. I'm going to go get ready for bed, and we'll see what the score is when I come back. So I think I needed to breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief last night, seeing what Uribe did. So imagine how all those other relievers in the pen felt. Couple of texts here. Dean in La Crosse, a short and to-the-point observation as always, says, Ashby on pace for 50 wins. Yeah, Ashby has 5 wins so far on the season. And if you're like, Grant, historically, how many pitchers have had 5 wins through 18 games? Well, I didn't look it up, but our friend Kurt Hogue sure did. He was all over it. Kurt Hogue sharing, and now I can't find it. The hell with it. I'll search Kurt on Twitter. Kurt posts the goods on Blue Sky. I got to go over there more often. There's a couple Brewers and Badgers accounts that are just cooking over there, and I'm missing out. Most pitcher wins within the first 20 games of a season by a reliever since 1901. Aaron Ashby is tied at number 1. Bob Klein is up there, 1934. Older than Clemhead Mike. So Clemhead, you can feel solace in that on your 69th birthday. Cecil Upshaw in 1971, of course, who could forget? And Jim Ray in 1972. I believe he played, actually, fun fact, for the Eau Claire Express. That's what Ray's place is named for down there. I made that up. There's no way that's true. I've never heard of any of those players. But Aaron Ashby, they'll remember his name. He looks nasty. I just am terrified at how often Murphy is using him. Brandon Sproat was cooking. He got the first 2 guys in the 7th like that. And Murph came out to get him, and I'm like, I think I would have let him get the 3rd guy, and I might have sent his ass back out for the 8th, too. I'm not looking for excuses to go to my pen earlier. Another text here from TK on Wisconsin's West Coast. I don't understand how people can wake up and go to work with the filth of the night on them. Morning shower. Well, here's the thing, TK. Here's the thing. If you shower before bed, there is no filth of the night. Now, I very often shower twice a day. If I work out in the morning, so I'll wake up, go to the gym, I shower there, I come to work, I shower before bed. Because I can't sleep when I feel, if my skin is sticky. How do you sleep like that, you animal? Respectfully. I don't shower in the morning every day. I didn't go to the gym this morning, so I just stuck my head in the shower and shook it off like, to get this natural look that you all crave on the live stream if you're watching on the Wisco Sports Zone app. This text, just a 608 number, don't have a name. Maybe Joey Ortiz should be bunting every at-bat. 9th inning with the bases loaded, bunt. Bases empty in the 3rd and no one has a hit yet, bunt. Not sure if his OPS would be any worse than it was last season. Probably not. Probably not. Although Pat Murphy had some nice things to say about Joey Ortiz. We'll get to Pat Murphy's comments after this break. One more says, Grant, your thoughts on bunting to win? And thoughts on teams starting to use this against the Brewers, kind of like people picking up on Matt LaFleur's tricks. TJ, the CPA. Well, TJ, hat tip to you because yesterday was tax day, right? My taxes are done so early. I don't even think about tax day when it rolls around. I know, sick flex. I go to the gym and I do my taxes early and I shower twice a day because I have great hygiene. Whatever. Any other ways I can compliment myself before going to this break. I think if a team is struggling on offense, and if they're missing hitters like the Brewers are, I think it makes a ton of sense. People say, bunting's against the analytics. Spencer Michaelis is tweeting about this afternoon. Bunting, that's anti-analytics. And he tweets, I'd like to remind people that those who are more analytically inclined don't dislike bunting for hits, nor do they dislike squeeze bunts, nor do they dislike all sack bunts. All 3 of these were reasonable process-based bunts in this situation. Considering who's at the plate, how the offense is going, the injuries they have, the situation, like getting 1 run in the 7th in a 1-run game, way different than bunting to score 1 run in the 2nd when it's 1-1 or when it's 1-0 or something like that. And again, you got to factor in who's at the plate. Joey Ortiz. I mean, if you're waiting for the big inning, you're going to be left waiting a while. Last night, this is per Baseball Savant, the Brewers only had 1 ball in play with a launch angle underneath 22 degrees. It was a pop-out. They hit 4 balls out of the infield. That's it. And they won the game 2-1. Just got to find a way to win with this offense and the bullpen in its current state, although hopefully last night and today are signs that the bullpen is taking a step in the right direction. We'll continue. Comments from Pat Murphy next.
This is the Wisco Sports Show with Grant Bills on the Sports Zone Radio Network.
Wisco Sports Show will resume in 5 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 4 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 3 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 2 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 1 minute. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 30 seconds.
His last time up, shows bunt, gets it down. It's a good one. Heineman spins and throws him out. Hamilton shows bunt, gets it down. Tough play here. Throw to first. Not in time. 1-1. There's the bunt. It's on the ground. Mitchell's going to score. The throw is in time. It is a perfectly executed safety squeeze by Joey Ortiz, and the Brewers have a 2-1 lead.
Sounds like some accidental action Bronson there from Brian Anderson, hence the bumper. A perfectly executed safety squeeze from Joey Ortiz. I'm an idiot. I'll take your Brewers phone calls and your texts, 608-321-1670. Also, I see this conversation going on in the live stream, and I do have to send my condolences out to Lee in the Western City, Goose Eggs, over in Westby, who I'm going to see. I'm excited. The Bill Michaels golf outing just a couple Saturdays away at Viroqua Hills, the Bill Michaels Open. You guys got smoked with hail in Westby. Holy buckets. And Lee's GMC Duramax, all options available. It sounds like it's toast. I'm just reading comments here. Haven't gotten the paperwork yet, but it's toast. Need to replace every piece of metal on it and a couple lights and the front windshield. I saw the topper was ripped to shreds too. So he says, I'm in the market for a newer and bigger Duramax. In some spots on my truck, there were 12 dents in a 1 square foot area. You guys got rocked in Westby. Holy crap. Not with the wind and the tornado activity that, like, there were some areas up around Mauston that just got, completely torched by tornadoes. Westby, it looked like it snowed. Sorry to hear about your Duramax, Lee. Although Ebo, his house got smoked by hail, and he's getting a new roof. Yeah, he's got to pay his insurance deductible, but not a bad deal. And what a boon to the economy of local painters, siders, and roofers. Exteriors. What a boon to the local economy. So not all is lost. Here's a little bit of Pat Murphy. I want to listen to his press conference. We can react to pieces here and there. He says something about bunting to begin, kind of his comprehensive approach to it and thought process. We can react to that. And later on, he gets to Joey Ortiz. I want to talk about that too.
Well, what's your sense of the importance of the bunt right now in baseball? We saw it on both sides.
I think it's coming back. I think it's obviously a very difficult thing for a pitcher to do his job the way we do it today. And there's a lot of really big men pitching. And then to have to run, break down, secure the baseball, get your eyes on the target, and make a good throw with that type of adrenaline and that type of movement out of the guy running first. I think it's legit. We've done it for the last couple of years. You've seen it. Not always successful, but the threat of the bunt then becomes a defensive positioning thing too. So,
Murph, Joey struggled with laying down bunts last year. Have you seen him get better at that?
He's working at it. Joey's working at everything, man. He's, I'd be hard pressed to find a shortstop that's any better than him defensively. Really, he's really, I know the numbers may not say that, but the players ask any one of them. This kid and he's working at every part of his game. And today he walked, and yesterday he got a knock, and today he walked and got down a huge bunt. And the defense he plays is, really good. So that was great. Gary Sanchez swinging the bat. How about Sproat, though? That's what you're going to about to ask right now here, aren't you? Just about to ask about that, weren't you? How about Sproat?
I was about to ask about Trevor, but sure.
Oh, just preempting David Gasper's question. Let's talk about Sproat. We can talk about Ortiz. I think he's excellent defensively. I'm not denying that. I do wonder at a certain point if this is his offensive profile, if it's doable. And I feel for Joey Ortiz a little, and I feel for David Hamilton more, because I think in a perfect world, David Hamilton is beloved. Seriously. I think if Yelich is healthy, if the top of the lineup is Frelick, Terang, Contreras, Churio, Yelich, Vaughn in some order, and then the rest of the lineup just needs to be, Mitchell, Ortiz, Hamilton, or swap in Bowers for Vaughn or whatever. If this lineup is full, David Hamilton is another version of Caleb Durbin at the bottom of the lineup, who has kind of without fail put together long at bats and worked walks and found a way on base. And like, I think in a different context, David Hamilton is, I don't want to say a fan favorite, but I think he works really well. When he's counted on, as he's been counted on, yeah, it's not going to go well. You're not going to have a good time. And I guess I feel the same way about Ortiz. I don't think Ortiz's offensive game, Ortiz's at-bats are half as good as David Hamilton, and David Hamilton's mostly a bad offensive player. So Ortiz, it's not just that he's not getting hits, it's that his at-bats aren't competitive. He's watching pitches down the middle. He's not identifying pitches. His swing decisions aren't good. If that gets fixed and he plays good defense and the rest of the lineup is rounded out and great, well, then Ortiz can play. But the way that this is going right now and how bad his at-bats look, even if he's working hard, like Murph said, you're just waiting for Cooper Pratt or Jet Williams to crack 200 in AAA. Give me a reason. Give Matt Arnold a reason to call you up. I just don't think Cooper Pratt or Jet Williams have done that yet. All right, a little bit more from Murph. We'll talk about Sproat next.
Let's talk about Sproat right now. That was good. 6.2. He's against, some of the players he went against today. It was good. He had to feel great about it.
Do you see adjustments from Sproat from start to start? What are you seeing that's different?
Well, his confidence is number one. It all starts with, they're not going to change their mechanics that much. And that
come on, though. That's what Dom's getting at. Give us the deets. Give us the goods, Murph.
Doesn't mean you can. It might be the right mechanical change, but it doesn't mean you can execute it right now. These are humans, and they've been doing it a certain way a long time. So all of a sudden, you ask them to do something, it's kind of tougher than you think. I'll just move my finger, or I'll just do this. Doesn't necessarily result in a total different outcome, but his confidence and belief and the way William rode him today. He rode him, and for you guys that have followed this game closely, you know what that feels like. Like when you see a catcher riding him, he did a tremendous job for Sproat and got him going. And that's why we caught Gary last night and William today, because we wanted William and Sproat together. Because William knows how to, and he's the guy that's going to catch most of the games. And, he knew Sproat's stuff, and he did a great job with it. And I'm really happy for Sproat feeling like, yeah, I can do this.
Was that the first time? I want to pause it there. We can maybe revisit it later in the show. Was that the first time that Contreras caught Sproat? Because in his first start, it was Sanchez. That was the Sunday against the White Sox. Kansas City, I'm just looking through his game log real quick. Box score. This is worthwhile. I just need to scratch this itch. Catcher. Who caught? Why is this so hard to find? Who caught? Sanchez caught him in his second start. And in Washington, they lost 3-1. Who caught in that game? Milwaukee catcher. Okay, Contreras caught that game, but how many innings did Sproat actually pitch? Wasn't he was in relief in that game. Okay, so in Sproat's 3 starts that he's made so far, today was the first time Contreras caught him. And in the first 2 starts, and this was true of Kyle Harrison too, or in Boston when what's-his-nuts pitched, the guy who came over from the Red Sox in that trade, Sanchez was catching too. I just wonder, I've asked that question a couple times, like, it's clear that Murph thinks Contreras is a brilliant catcher at managing a pitcher through a game. He talks about it almost every night. So it's weird to me that Brandon Sproat hasn't been caught by Sanchez or by Contreras yet. So that's something, I'm glad he mentioned that, because it's something I forgot about. If we're talking about pitch mix with Sproat and if there were any changes, Jack Stern shared a little bit of this today, leaning more on the cutter. He only threw 1 sinker to a lefty. I'm just looking at his pitch mix. More cutter. A little bit more curveball against lefties. More sweeper against righties. More changeup. He doubled his changeup uses versus lefties and throwing against a righty. So he tweaked here and there, especially with the way that he attacked lefties, but that can be dependent on a lineup too, if you're facing more lefties or righties. So I don't want to get too bogged down in that data, mostly because I don't understand it, but Jack shared it. Leaned more on the cutter and only threw 1 sinker to a lefty today. So just tweaking a little bit, leaning into pitches that have been better, lessening some pitches and using pitches lesser that haven't worked in the past. I have a Packers thing that I want to discuss next. We'll reset the show at 5 o'clock. and get back into the Brewers. And Justin Garcia is going to join us in hour number 2. Love Justin.
This is the Wisco Sports Show with Grant Bills on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 3 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 2 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 1 minute. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 30 seconds.
It's crazy. I was sitting on the bus and I was talking to Coop, and I'm just like, me and Randall were talking, and we're like, dang, man, we missed out on so many opportunities to get to the Super Bowl. And we kept on saying, we're young, we have time. And I said, you know what, man, I want to stop saying you have time, Coop, because you don't. You know what I'm saying? Because if you think you have time, you're already going in year 3. So if your year 3 is here that fast, you know how quick your year 9 is going to be here? You know what I mean? So, like, I don't want to tell you got time. Like, the time is now to get it done, because you're not always going to have good football teams the way you have. You're going to have football teams that battle injuries that, you know, you may not be able to, you know, put a good product out there on the field. So when you have a chance to go win it, man, you got to go win it. So it's just some good conversations with the young fellas.
That's James Jones. Mike Clemens getting that audio. He's following the tailgate tour around the state of Wisconsin. And I don't know exactly what Mike's journalistic approach is on this one, but in my mind, I want to think that he's like a band groupie just chasing the tour bus all over the state. Some really good audio with Evan Williams the other day, and that with James Jones. James Jones is he's a bit of a homer. And that's no criticism of him personally. In fact, you know, I met James Jones one time. I'm not name dropping. Name dropping is bad. Colin Cowherd once told me I should never name drop. But I did meet James Jones in the hotel lobby and elevator of the St. Kate the Arts Hotel. St. Kate's the Arts. That one in downtown Milwaukee. Greg Marcus was also there. I mean, it was almost too much. It was a true who's who of Wisconsin. And I rode the elevator with him and said, he's a nice guy. James was a nice guy. That wasn't a story that was worth sharing, but why not? He's just a homer to the nth degree. So I know he said something about Matthew Golden. He's like, I think Matthew Golden's going to be an all-pro. And that clip was circling around. And I didn't bring it up on the show because I would be more surprised if James Jones didn't say that about a young Packers receiver. So it was great to get that audio from Mike. The one part of it where I was like, that's good. Circle. We will use that. That's good. Is him talking with Edgerrin Cooper and some other young Packers players on the tailgate tour saying, hey, I know you think you're young. I once thought I was young too. I know you think you're going to have a million chances and you're going to be a Packer forever and you're going to have a bunch of cracks to win the division and to go on a playoff run, try to win a Super Bowl. You won't, man. You're already in year 3. Think of how fast it's going to go. I actually want all of those Packers to come back through. I want Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, James Jones, Clay Matthews, bring them all in and just hammer this group over the head. Like, hey, man, we thought we were always going to get there and we never did. So lock in. All right. But I thought, in all seriousness, good perspective and good analysis from James Jones. You don't get a million cracks at this thing. Micah Parsons is on the team. Jordan Love is here. Tucker Kraft is really good. Josh Jacobs is still assumedly in his prime. Edgerrin Cooper, Xavier McKinney. You got a lot of good players. So stop dicking the dog thinking, okay, well, we didn't win the division this year. We were hurt. Well, we didn't win the division last year. Jordan Love was banged up. Well, we didn't beat the Niners in the playoffs 2 years ago. Our kicker. Just stop. You gotta grab one of these seasons by the horns. You know what I'm saying? 608-321-1670. Jim in Cottage Grove with a Brewers comment. We can do a hard reset after Zach's update, get back to the Brewers, and we can continue talking Packers too if you have anything to add. It's just a little thing that I thought was worth playing and a mention that a comment I wanted to make. Jim in Cottage Grove, I understand baseball lineups, but with Murphy, he has to work something out right now. Instead of having all your hard hitters 1, 2, 3, 4, you may need to sprinkle a few throughout the order, mix it up. I know it's a crazy thought, but I think it might work. Jim, I don't disagree. But when you say you have all your hard hitters 1, 2, 3, 4, they only have 2. They only have 2 right now. It's Turang and Contreras. That's it. So when you say sprinkle them around the lineup, they could, but that would mean hitting Turang 3 and Contreras 6, and that would be that. You know what I mean? Shaking it up for the shaking. I thought Frelick to lead off was great. I would keep doing that. I would keep doing that. I would try to get him going and utilize and lean on his skill set by having him at leadoff. But other than Frelick, Turang, and I wouldn't even qualify Frelick. Right now, it's Turang and Contreras. Those are your bats. Those are your good offensive players. And they're going to need to produce and carry. And I guess Gary Sanchez too, but, he's your backup catcher, man. You can only expect so much. Good at bats and hope for some results. And they're getting that right now. But I really only count on Turang and Contreras. Hour number 2 right after the headlines from Zach Heilprin. Zach Update. We'll be right back.
The Wisconsin Sports Zone Update.
Well, the Brewers earned a series win this afternoon with another 2-1 win over the Blue Jays at American Family Field. It was a pitcher's duel for a second straight game with Brandon Sproat putting together his best outing with Milwaukee. Allowed just 1 run over 6 2/3 innings while striking out 6 and walking 1. The bullpen did its job too with Aaron Ashby, Trevor McGill, and Angel Zerpa shutting things down. Patrick Corbin, pretty good for Toronto, too, going 5 1/3 innings, allowing 1 run on 4 hits and striking out 6. But Milwaukee managed to grab the lead in the 7th with 3 straight bunts, including a sac bunt from Joey Ortiz to bring in the winning run. Brewers had 7 hits on the day, including 2 apiece from William Contreras and Gary Sanchez. It allowed the crew to salvage 2 wins in a 6-game homestand. They're now going to hit the road starting tomorrow night as they travel to Miami to open a series against the Marlins. They will do so sitting at 10-8 on the year.
Everyone should feel confident about their path forward. Exact Sciences, now Abbott, has teamed up with UW Athletics to help promote cancer prevention and early detection. The Exact Sciences Athletes Program is unique as it connects UW student athletes with the company's work to provide breakthroughs in cancer care and treatment. UW student athletes helping raise cancer awareness to make a difference in the Madison community. Learn more at uwbadgers.com/Exact Sciences Athletes.
Well, the NFL draft now just a week away, though Packers fans will likely have to wait a little bit longer than that to see their team on the clock. Green Bay does not have a first-round pick this year or next year, thanks to the trade for Micah Parsons last summer. Instead, their first selection expected in Friday's second round at number 52 overall. In total, they have 8 picks over the 3 days. And the Badgers are on the field this morning for practice number 9 of spring. They're going to be back out there on Saturday for a scrimmage. Got a total of 15 practices overall this spring. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil-Pritt.
His last time up shows bunt, gets it down. It's a good one. Heineman spins and throws him out. Hamilton shows bunt, gets it down. Tough play here. Throw to first. Not in time. 1-1. There's the bunt. It's on the ground. Mitchell's going to score. The throw is in time. It is a perfectly executed safety squeeze by Joey Ortiz, and the Brewers have a 2-1 lead.
But what's your sense of the importance of the bunt right now? You saw that on both sides.
I think it's coming back. I think it's obviously a very difficult thing for a pitcher. I think it's legit.
This is where Wisconsin gathers to talk sports. Packers, Brewers, Badgers, Bucks. The Wisco Sports Show is on the air. Now, here's your host, Grant Bills.
Hour number 2, we got loaded phone lines, so I will, in 60 seconds here, reiterate my opening take. Wow, off to a great start. The Brewers won these last 2 games. I didn't think they had it in them. After watching on Tuesday night, I said, well, guys, if you can't win that game, you get a 3-run home run from Jake Bowers. You get a home run from your backup catcher, a great start from your ace, Mizorowski. If you can't win that game, what games are you going to be able to win? And like the Brewers often do, they said, okay, shove this up your steamer. We'll win back-to-back games 2-1 with a bullpen that struggled and an offense that situationally now can get a run when they absolutely need it. 3 straight bunts today in the 7th inning. Very ugly. I might feel worse about their offense after these last 2 games. I think you feel slightly better about their bullpen, but that's not the point. The point is you win 2 games and you tread water while you wait for some of your bats to get healthier and your bullpen arms to maybe figure it out. 2 thumbs up. To your phone calls, we got loaded phone line, 608-321-1670. Wisco Sports Show. Who's this?
Hey, it's Darnell.
Hey, Darnell, what's going on?
Man, Brandon Sproat looked pretty dang good today, did he not?
Yeah, and he has, by the way, as a mustache man, Dylan Cease's he looks like a douchebag. Brandon Sproat, higher and tighter, just a little less ridiculous. Like, Dylan Cease looks like he should be working for an auto magazine, like that guy on the Speed Channel with the huge mustache. Like, that's too much. So I like Sproat more for that reason.
And I was not expecting even a single run today with the lineup that was posted this morning. So really, really happy with the last 2 days, and really starting to ask myself here, if there's a couple bullpen fiascos that don't happen in the last week, we're not even really discussing how terrible they, you know what I mean? Like, sure. Because they lost 6 in a row.
Well,
very well could have won, and maybe should have won 3 of those 6, right? Because they had leads in the 8th inning in 3 or 4 of those games. So, a lot of times they don't lose those games, and then all of a sudden we're not talking about a 10-8 Brewers team. We're talking about a 12-6 Brewers team or whatever. It's so funny, the baseball overreactions. It's great. And
Kiss. You know what, Darnell? You come into the studio and you talk every day, and then I can judge whether or not you're overreacting. Okay. Oh, the overreactions are ridiculous. Yeah. For sure. They just lost 6 in a row.
I know. And I'm saying that I'm also part of the overreaction. I think everybody, it's part of being a baseball fan, is that even though it's 162 games in the season, you still overreact to every single game as if, this one is the straw that broke the camel's back. So it's super fun. I love that we're halfway through April and it's already doom or gloom and boom or gloom, whatever it is. I don't know.
Yeah, but nice, man. Again, nice. Yeah. Keep going. Sorry.
It's nice to get back in the win column and not kind of have that on your back anymore. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, and also to talk about Murph and how he puts his lineup together. as someone that has to put a lineup together for softball.
Jesus.
Okay, just wait.
No,
and maybe sometimes there's some people on there that aren't the best at the sport.
Oh.
You have to be strategic about it, right? You have to put certain people with certain people, and maybe the slower runner goes here. Maybe a couple of fast people here next to a guy with a big bat that can knock them in. You know, just like some strategery. So I kind of feel for Murph where he's like, dude, what am I supposed to do? I've got 2 bats and I've got 7 scrubs. What am I supposed to do here?
No,
so,
I
get it.
I get it. Luis Renifo at first base felt like a bridge too far. Although, I don't know. Did Jake Bauers sleep last night? Did he go to bottomless mimosas this morning? 2 of the worst at bats, and then just fell asleep on that slow roller up the first base line with Ashby. And like, what was Bauers doing today? I don't know. Luis Renifo at first base felt a little strong. I'm not complaining about the roster construction. I'm complaining about the fact that we have no good hitters and they suck to watch right now. But they're winning, to your point, Darnell. I love Darnell. I don't know why my first instinct is to always give him crap for everything. Let's take another call here. Wisco Sports Show. Who's this?
Hey, Grant. It's Todd in Green Bay.
Hey, Todd. What's up? What's going on?
I have like 3 takes today. I'm not panicking about Brewers either because I think they have a better team than they did last year. They have better offense, more power. Bowers didn't have a good day, but he had a few home runs already, I think. Ortiz, they all got bulked up. They the leadoff guys, I can't think of his name right now. He got bulked up. Ortiz got bulked up. I think their hitting's going to come around, and we got a good manager. So my other leads in my other take that I can't believe that Ed Policy thinks that 5-game losing streak with LaFleur having the team in disarray and the players on the bench are in disarray because they know Matt LaFleur does not have a good offensive scheme or plan, and that's why we're losing. And my other take is that I just got to throw a little thing in here. My dad knew most of the 60s Packers in the industry he was in, and I got to have a brought with Jerry Kramer, and I also shook Max McGee's hand up in the atrium. And I also, during a game, because when he was doing radio, and then I also got to shake Bart Starr's hand. I said, Bart, I shook the catch in Super Bowl I. If I shake your hand, I'll get the pass and the catch. And he shook my hand. So that's my little name dropping for today. But just to summarize here, I think the Brewers are fine. They're more physical than they were last year, and Terang's playing better than last year. I think the pitching is going to be just as good or better. So I'm very optimistic about the Brewers. And the Packers I'm not so optimistic about because that policy tends to be in this denial of the reality of the situation with the locker room and LaFleur.
Yeah, and I do love the name dropping. That was probably in response to the story that I just had to share about the one time I rode an elevator with James Jones. We stayed at St. Kate the Arts because it was a buddy's 21st birthday, and we just gone to the Brewer game. We were soaked. It was raining. None of us brought any nice clothes. And it's a nice place. It's nice, jazz playing. And I think like Driver and some other Packers were there because they had an appearance at the Brewer game. Shared an elevator with James Jones. No big deal. Greg Marcus was also there. These are just the circles I run in. And to your Brewers optimism, it's just incredible what 2 straight wins will do. I think if they get healthy, yes, they need to get healthy. Their offense needs to get healthy. It's just what they're able to do between now and then. Can they win games like they did last night and today? Well, if they do that, then they're going to be okay. But if they have 5-6 game losing streaks multiple times, if they keep doing that thing, well, by the time they get healthy, they're going to be in a really tough spot. 608-321-1670, Wisco Sports Show. Who's this?
Grant, is 90 wins a good baseball season?
I think that's an excellent baseball season, Vagabond John.
The Brewers are on track for exactly 90 wins. They are 10-8.
Well, what do you
that prorates out to exactly 90 wins.
You know what? It's just so easy for you and Darnell. There's 2 microphones in the studio. Why don't you guys just come in and you can go ahead and take this job?
No, I love it. Hey, both of us are on your side here.
Okay. It doesn't feel like it. All right.
This is a part of the fun of Sports Talk Radio. But we do love our microphones, even if it's on a telephone receiver. Hey, on the Packers, I love your take about the Jones conversation. That just was hard to get out.
Mm-hmm.
The Packers just traded for an aging linebacker to replace Quay Walker that is a solid career, but coming off of his worst year of his entire career. Going back pre-rookie, right? Like his PFF is like graded higher as a college player than he did last year for Indianapolis. So they're going all in on these veterans. You have Josh Jacobs, you have Xavier McKinney, you have, an edge rusher. Like, they maybe have 2 years here before all those guys are gone.
Xavier McKinney's like 28, isn't he? He's pretty young still.
Turns 29 this year. We've talked about.
No, he's 27. He turns 28 this year. So look, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. The urgency is there. You always feel like you're going to have a million cracks at the thing, and you won't. So I agree with you on that. I don't think that the additions of Javon Hargrave and Zaire Franklin, 2 veterans kind of sprinkled onto the defense, which by and large is still relatively young, I don't think they're all of a sudden the Washington Commanders where they're a million years old. You know what I mean? Like, I guess that's what I'll push back on a little bit. The premise I agree with.
Yeah, they're young on the coaching staff, old on the field is where they're kind of transitioning to. And I got my Xavier McKinney Jair thing wrong. There's one guy that they had lingering around where it's like, oh yeah, they got this guy, and Jair Alexander's actually younger than him, so that was interesting. But I just think larger point, they gotta act now. They gotta do something quick here, and the division's getting a hell of a lot better. So I'm fascinated by the NFC North. I think it's gonna be one of the most fun divisions in football. We got a really fun crossover schedules as well. Yeah. We're not playing the AFC South again.
They're playing the NFC South.
Yeah. So now we're advancing to the NFC South, which has just quarterback chaos on that side. But then, you look at Green Bay and you're like, okay, Matthew Golden, Jordan Love, Tucker Kraft. There's skill positions all over the place. So I hope to see the Packers lead a potent offense, and then of course, Gutekunst traded away the only run-stuffing defensive tackle he had to make room for this linebacker. So we'll see what the defense can do.
Well, Javon Hargrave is here. I understand what you're saying. I think the North is going to be fun. When you say the Packers need to do something, I agree. They need to win. They need to win some of these games, and it is funny to me. The NFC North, they'll beat each other up, but the NFC South should be beatable. So, Sherman's march from last year to this year continues. The AFC South now to the NFC South. Hopefully there's a bunch of wins to be stacked there. All right, 2 more calls, and then we're going to trend towards our break. Justin Garcia is going to join us. I'm just excited to talk to the guy, talk a little basketball. Wisco Sports Show. Who's this?
First and third, end of the game, 1 out. Who do you want to hit? Keston Hiura or Joey Ortiz and Lester Bunting?
No bunting, or can we bunt, Rico?
You can bunt.
Maybe Joey Ortiz. It depends, righty lefty. Keston here is the splits matter.
All right. Now listen, I know I'm going to tick you off because I'm going to bring up something up from Bill's show. Hey, earlier birds. I'm sorry.
Which if it's Bill's show today, that's understandable.
All right. Bill's show today, he was like blowing his top. Now listen, I want hitters to hit as much as anybody, including Joey Ortiz. But come on, really? I mean, 275, 250 at the top of the order or the bottom of the order. Hell, 255 now is like 275 was 40 years ago.
Are you talking about Ortiz?
Yeah. No, I'm talking about anybody. He says, "Oh, I want somebody 255 at the bottom of the." Nobody hits that good anymore.
That's true.
Guys are hitting their 220s right now in the bottom 2 of the order.
That's true.
Barely anybody's hitting 300.
Yeah. Like Joey Ortiz is hitting 204 right now. Here's the thing with Ortiz. Ortiz and Hamilton both make a lot more sense and are a lot less detrimental when the rest of the lineup is healthy. Now, the one that I think Hamilton can be the same player and be a great fit on the healthy offense if he's the third baseman. Ortiz, I just need the quality of at-bats, Rico, to be a little better. I need him to have a little bit more of a clue as when to swing and when to watch pitches.
I agree with that, but I just got one more other thing.
Go ahead.
All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
It's April 16th. My God, there's 144 games left.
Hey, Rico, it is April 16th. And you know what that means? You know what starts on Monday, buddy?
What?
There's a week that we do every April.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Yes. I was going to do it this week, but then there was a lot of news on Monday and it felt wrong. So Monday, we begin Neil Diamond Week.
I hate you.
I know you do.
I hate you.
Perfect way to wrap up the call. Neil Diamond Week begins on Monday. Nice to chat, Rico. Forever in blue jeans, babe. Neil Diamond Week starts on Monday. Very excited. I was going to do it 2 weeks ago, forgot. Then was going to do it last week. And then, I was going to do it this week, I should say. And then Chris McIntosh resigned. And I just felt wrong coming out of the Masters. The Brewers have lost 4 in a row. It's like, it's Neil Diamond Week. It would have felt a little wrong. So we're going to do it next week. One more call here. Wisco Sports Show. Who's that?
Quack, 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 quack,
Beautiful.
quack,
Dave
quack,
from
quack,
Monona.
quack.
Bring us home.
Couple of things. One, Darnell, I'm going to make you and the Brewers a lot of money because, Darnell says, well, he's blind. How does he know? I organized softball teams for 25 years, Darnell, and the best, anyone in the softball world knows who I am. I played every weekend. I hit every tournament, every city in Wisconsin. That's how good I was. I'm going to make you a lot of money. You don't scatter bad players throughout your lineup, you moron. You double flip your leadoff hitter. 9, 1, 2, 3. That's where your best hitters go because your 9 hitter rolls over the order. There, I just saved the Milwaukee Brewers. And look at guy for the Cubs, Miko Warner, 18 RBIs. Why? Because number 9 and 8 hitters, Darnell, learn how to do a lineup. You stack your top 4 and you flip your number 9 there. They're same for the Brewers.
Brewers used to do that with Alcides Escobar, I remember. Continue.
Now, two things I want. Now, I don't give compliments very often, because I hate people.
Mm-hmm.
But I did text you, and by the way, you are a snob. You never do say thank you to people when they compliment you. That's something you need to get over. But no, I text you about your interview with Jesse Nelson.
Temple.
That actually that's one of the better interviews. Because you asked good follow-up questions. You asked good. There's a lot of good content. Only thing was a little too much on Apple, man. But could have done some other things through other sports. But no, that interview ought to go to journal schools. This is how you do an interview, people, and you don't ask stupid questions about ketchup or mustard or onions or that type of thing with Jesse Nelson. So I wanted to compliment you on that. The last thing, this thing with the Packers today, it dawned on me. The reason Badgers were so popular for so many decades is because they every summer would go on multiple city tours with players, coaches, and all sports, and they did it throughout Wisconsin, and that's why people they stacked the stadium. Luke Batgirl, who's a piece of crap, has done nothing statewide. Hey, Matt Appleman, it was too late now. What happened to if you want to get the fans and the people throughout the state, and the coaches? That's what the old Badgers did, man. It was good. Vagabond Jism probably knows that. They'd go everywhere. Hey, Matt LePay and Bull Ryan and Paul Chris and Barry Alvarez and Howard Moore. I mean, Howard Moore was great.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate. I mean, because he was great. One of the most friendliest people, that type of thing. And they had him everywhere. So, Fickle, if you want to learn something. But other than that, Brewer fans, you're 10-8. So, quack, 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 quack.
Thank you, Dave. And for the lineup, he just called in to teach Darnell how to make a beer league softball lineup. I just love when Dave gives advice on people skills to Badgers coaches and administrators. We're going to take a break. Justin Garcia, Dave's favorite, going to join us next. Just because I love Justin, it's been a while and we can pick at some different basketball topics. We've serviced the Brewers effectively so far tonight. We have serviced the Packers. James Jones said a thing. We reacted. I just want to catch up with Justin, BS a little bit about basketball. And I'm looking forward to the end of the show, too, because tonight is the final. It's the season finale of Thorson and Heilprin, so we'll even get to talk to Zach and Ebo later. A lot of fun still to come on the show.
This is the Wisco Sports Bills.
The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 3 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 2 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 1 minute. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 30 seconds.
All right, welcome back. Appreciate Dave Fermanona's constructive compliments and criticisms, suggestions, as always. We'll get back to the Brewers. We're also going to connect with Zach and Ebo later. The season finale tonight of Thorson and Heilprin at Monk's Sun Prairie. Always look forward to that. But right now, joining us, I just love having this guy on. I'm a sucker. What can I say? And I've been struck by the play-in games a little bit in the NBA. Justin Garcia, the Bucks Radio Network, joining us now. Of course, you hear him on Locked on Bucks as well. Justin, good evening. How have you been?
I guess I've been good. I mean, we knew it was coming to this. It's still getting earlier and earlier every single year that we're talking about. Well, I guess the Bucks are done, and I'll watch some other teams play and now figure out what to do with my evenings.
Can I just say that if it's going to be done early, let's be done this early. Let's not go through with the charade of the first round. I can go into this postseason with an open heart and an open mind. Capture me, NBA. I'm ready. I'm an unbiased, just free agent of a fan. I want to get caught up in the storylines. I want to be smitten.
As a fan, I would agree with you. As somebody that gets paid per game played, I would have been fine with extending a little further, but yeah.
So I follow sports closely enough. I'm in the loop. I'm on Twitter a lot.
Quite a flex.
Well, I just to further emphasize the point I'm about to make, I had no clue the play-in games were going on this week until they were going on and I was seeing tweets about them. And at first I felt bad. How could this have happened? How could I have missed this? But now I realize what it is. I get home at night and I throw on my flat screen TV and I open DirecTV and I go to, and there are all my sports options. But Brewers, don't roll your eyes. This is a real thing.
No, I agree. I agree with you. It was one of my bigger hangups these last 2 days as well.
I get no cue that there's a basketball game buried on Amazon Prime unless I open Amazon Prime, which I never do. I never open Amazon Prime unless it's Thursday Night Football. So I understand this is the way the world is going. And Amazon, except for the technical snafu, has done a good job. I missed out on it, and I think there's plenty of people like me who turn on their guide and it's not there. So I would have been none the wiser if I didn't open Twitter.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know what you're not going to make it better. I just needed to complain to you.
No, so it's been a couple interesting days here this week for me. So Tuesday, I'll tie this together. I promise. Tuesday, we were supposed to have our end of season dinner with the team, and then there's a weather event that took place. I don't know if you heard about this Tuesday.
Correct.
So we were at the very last minute, like, I don't know, like it's Wisconsin, it's a tornado watch, and then it became a warning. Like, we've all lived through this. I think we'll be fine. And it wasn't until like 10 minutes before we were supposed to leave that somebody finally made the call of, no, this doesn't look good. We should probably cancel and see if we can reschedule this to tomorrow. And so we did that. And I was talking to somebody else, like, all right, I guess I'll go grocery shopping. So I went out to the grocery store, and this was a junior weather executive, as they deem themselves, with, I study radar and I know this. So like, yeah, you got 2 hours before it hits.
Yep.
So I go to the grocery store. The second I step out of the car, tornado sirens are going. And I walk right into this place at Bayshore. I was at Trader Joe's to give them the free pub.
Wow.
And the moment I step in the door, somebody greets you at the door like, you either got to turn around or you got to come with us and shelter in place. One or the other.
They would do that at Trader Joe's. Woodman's would have no say in this.
Woodman's
They would
is
not
like,
care.
whatever. Yeah, whatever. Just leave us a note for whatever you took. So like, I guess I'm sheltering in place. So I'm stuck in the back of a Trader Joe's watching this on my phone for God knows how long to see this happening. And they're bringing in like bottles of water and granola bars where you're like, how long are we going to be here if you're doing this? But meanwhile, I'm with the strangest collection of people just watching this on my phone. And then a few other people notice that's what he's doing. And like, oh, what are you watching? And then I tell them, and they're like, oh, what channel is that on? Because they're watching weather coverage on their phone. And then we get into the whole, well, it's actually on Amazon. So then you fast forward to the next night and we go to dinner and it's a nicer place. And somebody again says like, oh, we should throw the games up there, and ask like, hey, can we change this when we went out afterwards? Like, sure, what channel is it on? And then you get to the same thing again. Like, no, we're going to have to watch it on our phone here because you don't have Amazon Prime hooked up to your TV.
So an actual storyline from the play-in tournament. Why is it that the NBA is, we always like once a postseason is like, well, and now we wait to see if this guy is suspended for the next game. Like it happens in the NBA. It doesn't happen in other sports. And it's not like basketball is inherently more physical or violent. It seems to be a feature or a bug, I guess, your point of view of the league. It's interesting. LaMelo Ball.
How is he not suspended for a game too? Like if they retroactively went back and deemed, yeah, it's a flagrant 2, so here's your fine for it. A flagrant 2 means you're ejected from the game. So how is he not suspended to start this? If you want to say like, well, it's winner take all, we don't want to penalize him. Well, what did you do to Miami if you let him play after he took Bam Adebayo out?
I just don't feel bad. Boy, genius.
I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad for the team that lost either, but
boy, genius Spoelstra is out in the play-in again. Interesting how that happens. Are the Magic, how is it that a team can go into the postseason and we get reports that, hey, no matter what happens, the coach is getting canned?
Well, didn't we kind of know that in January though? It's been for a while. Like the Magic were one of the teams that coming into this season, it was like, okay, I got my eye on you, but you better win because if you don't win, it's not this guy's fault. It's not this guy's fault. It's not this. It's the coach's fault, and that's who's going to suffer here. Realistically, too, as disappointing as this season has been for the Bucks, let's say the Hornets win that game on Friday. Are the Magic the most disappointing team in the league?
Possibly. And this is why we'll lead this right into my next question. If Giannis requests a trade, let's just kick it around for fun. God knows if it's going to happen. I'm done speculating about it. It's tired to me. But let's say he does. I'm targeting the Magic because the Magic, I think, are this perfect. They're the perfect mark of, well, we tanked the right way. We sucked. We earned a chance to contend, and it's not working. We traded the picks for Desmond Bane. We're going to miss our window. We better do something now. And I think the Cavs would have been this team like a year or two ago, but they fired their wad on Harden, I guess. So I think the Magic are the perfect, little desperate, feeling like we got to do it or we're going to, the world's going to pass us by. Do you see a potential avenue there if Giannis wants to trade?
I suppose it's an easy connection to make that people are going to jump to for that. Regardless of even if Orlando wins this game Friday and gets in and plays Detroit, maybe they beat Detroit as the 8th seed, but I don't see this team ceiling any further than getting to the second round. They're probably going to make changes there regardless of what happens. You still have to take into account if we're going to go down the path of what if Giannis gets traded. Does he want to go there? Because he does hold some of the cards.
I read that he doesn't want to go to the West Coast. Is there any legitimacy to that?
Who knows? And the one thing that I 100% absolutely agree with in all of the reporting that has gone on the last couple of weeks was when he said there are no sources close. Like the sources close to me are me and my family. That's it. Those are the only people that know for sure. So whenever there's Giannis thinks this or Giannis feels this way, I just think all of that you got to take with a grain of salt. But does he want to go to Orlando? Because he holds a lot of the cards here in that he's entering a walk year. And look, he's going to leave money on the table if he just says, I don't like where I'm traded to. I'm going to leave in free agency. But again, if we're going to take him at his word, what did he tell Eric and Jim last week? Of money means nothing to me. I care about winning, and it's not a money thing. So if that's the case, then there is a lot of leverage to say, yeah, I don't really want to go there. So if you send me there, I'm not going to sign, and I'll just leave somewhere else, and I'll pull a Kawhi Leonard here, and I'll just play for a year. Maybe we're successful. Maybe we reach the finals, but I don't want to be here, so I'm going somewhere next summer.
Why did the Bucks? You're employed by the Bucks, so you're a high-ranking member of the organization. We can ask you these things. Justin Garcia is here. Why is Doc allowed to just do a media tour in his final days of the head coach? And why is Bobby doing a media tour? I don't want to hear Bobby talk about, man, we need a coach who will set a culture. You're the guy who's supposed to help the coach set the culture. Every public appearance made by a Bucks player, a coach, I'm like, who's this for? What is this serving? Other than Michelle Beadle's show on the FanDuel Network, which is going away. So who is it for?
I would direct the questions to Barry Baum and Dan Smichik. They can handle it with media relations. I mean, I don't know. It was, the funny thing too was hearing some of the reflections of oh wow, shocking, and the moment the game ends, to see the breaking news tweet, Doc Rivers will not be back as coach, when you're like, we've known this for 2 weeks. Doc himself has basically said this in his pregame press conferences, and we're treating this well, there it is. Shams finally had the last say.
One more thing. So Giannis talked about Joe Mazzulla, right? And we talked about this last time you were on. Celtics hater here, but they've earned my respect. I've just they've broken me down, and I've accepted.
To the point where you're rooting for them in the playoffs?
No,
Okay.
not root. No, but just not if they win, I'm going to be angry. I feel like they need to lose. I don't feel that way anymore. Like I did 2 years ago when they.
You won't be angry if they win.
I mean, I'll be annoyed. I'm maturing, Justin. I'm becoming more of an adult. I'm into the weather now. I was watching weather coverage the last couple of days. Here's the thing. Giannis talked about Joe Mazzulla. I love what he's built. I respect what he built. You know why that struck a chord with me? It's why Joe Mazzulla and the Celtics were able to do that thing this year is because Jaylen Brown was their pillar and their leader and available and kind of drove the bus and led the charge for all of those lesser known guys to kind of make their mark. Don't shake your head. I'm right. And I just feel like Giannis is maybe 1 foot in, 1 foot out. He was hurt, which isn't his fault. I just feel like for Bobby and Giannis of all people to say, well, I want a coach who builds a culture, I would like them to look inward. That's all. That's it.
I'm willing to see both sides to it. Takes more than two people to build a culture. I'll say that. And I think it's the old, you don't know what you got till it's gone, because we have talked for years about don't take Giannis for granted and don't take Giannis's greatness for granted as he was becoming the player that he was and became a 2-time MVP. But one of the things we did not stress to don't take this for granted. And now more than ever, you're I wish we still had that, was when the Bucks had an identity, they had a culture, character mattered in terms of who they brought in there. They were a boring team full of, boring players or veterans, but there was no drama.
Wives and kids.
Dads. Yeah, it was just dads living in the suburbs, raising their families. No drama.
Lake country. That's what they used to be.
Well, I mean,
other suburbs too, I suppose.
Yeah, whatever the Mequon and Northwoods area is.
North
River. Yeah. But yeah, there was no drama, and it was a team that the message came top down with that group. I'm not saying that's not all the case anymore, but you've certainly seen, okay, this is what changes when we're still searching for what is our identity as a team, who has the final say in all of this. And, the other problem with this past year was you had the Giannis thing, and we've heard multiple players say too, it was basically a cloud hanging over us, which I think anyone can pick up on and assume, but you had that, and you had a collection of guys that were on a 1+1 or an expiring contract. And they've had some of that in the past, but it's always been we're supplementing the roster with this guy on a veteran minimum. And if he gets paid elsewhere, good for him. If we can retain him, great. But it became a majority of your roster this past year. And the challenge in that is, especially if things start to go south, it's inevitable that guys know, like, I don't know that I'm going to be here next year, and I got to find my next contract, and I don't know that this guy is going to be here next year. So now it may not even be in a selfish way, but now I'm more playing for myself than I am for the team.
Well, call me Ryan Russillo, but I was out on the Cam Thomas edition from the jump. I just, I guess they needed someone to come in and take shots. They needed an offensive player at the time, but
it made sense at the time.
It made sense.
Especially considering you gave up nothing for him. You didn't trade for him. He was bought out and you signed him. It made sense. And even if they would have been able to contend for the playoffs and get into the play-in tournament, still makes some sense. But yeah, I mean, it was the right thing to do on both ends, I think, to say, okay, we're not giving up anything for this, so let's take this risk. And then even to make the move when you got to clear up a roster space for Pete Nance, it also made sense because at this point we know what Cam Thomas is. And even if you don't believe in Andre Jackson Jr., we'll say, I would still much rather say, yeah, I've seen more than enough to feel like I don't think he's got this, or this. But at this point, why not? Let's see if you've got this in 20 games. Let's have one final view at what we have here. And if there's something we think we can pull out of you, because we know what we have in Cam Thomas. So let's just see if we can close the book on this one too.
Certainly will be a busy offseason and hopefully an entertaining postseason. We'll have to have you back. Justin, I have to go. Is your place dry? It seems your home studio is dry. Are you doing
I'm
okay?
fine. Yeah,
Okay.
I was able to. I'm a higher ground, I suppose. So I was perfectly fine.
All right. Well, it's nice to see you. I hope you have an excellent rest of the week. Enjoy your free time. Enjoy your free time as the postseason begins. Sorry again about that.
All right. See ya.
Justin Garcia, Bucks Radio Network. He says, is someone paid by the game? Sorry, but hey, still's got Trader Joe's money. You can't be too and do bad. Trader Joe's would do. Hey, if you come in now, you got a shelter in place with us. Phil Woodman would never. I was in Woodman's the other night just as the storm was hitting. Nobody cared. It's like, hey, frozen pizzas are on sale. All right. We'll take a break. Couple minutes. Maybe we'll bounce some thoughts around about some things that Justin had to say. Reset any Brewers or Packers thoughts. And remember, Zach and Ebo getting a shop set up at Monks and Sun Prairie. We'll connect with them at the end of the show as well before Thorson and Heilprin.
This is the Wisco Sports Show with Grant Bills on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Wisconsin weather doesn't ease into spring. It keeps you guessing. That's why your windows and doors need to handle comfort. Now get 0% interest until 2030. That's years of no interest, so you can upgrade now and pay over time. Plus, enjoy a free in-home consultation, expert installation, and a 10-year limited warranty. But order by April 30th. Scheduled today at PellaWI.com.
The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 5 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 4 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 3 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 2 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 1 minute. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 30 seconds.
And the 7th inning, similar to the 8th inning last night, here, Vinny, was the story of this game offensively. And 3 consecutive bunts was the difference for the Crew.
Well, it's all started, too, with the Garrett Mitchell walk. That was a great pinch hit at bat by Garrett Mitchell to lead things off. And then Greg Jones showing off his speed, 30.4 feet per second. That dude is fast. He can get down the line. He can motor, but it was the bunt that was the most impressive thing. And then how about it? How impressive this bunt was. And David Hamilton, talk about a burner. It took him 3.66 seconds to go from home to first. I mean, that's just ludicrous how fast that dude is. And then Joey Ortiz with a perfect bunt, deadened it perfectly. Good job by Garrett Mitchell. Rock talked about that on the broadcast. That was a good jump off of third base. That was a good catch by him because it was a great jump off of third base in order to score on that little safety squeeze there. And that's hard to do, especially after that count got turned around, flipped around on the challenge at first. Joey Ortiz stuck with the bunt, and he got it down. And again, that is not easy to do, especially considering that you're facing a guy that has nasty stuff, right? Especially nasty breaking balls. You just don't quite know what's coming, and he deadened that ball perfectly to get the winning run home and doing it with small ball.
Vinny Rottino, Brewers post game. Continue to pick at the Brewer game. I can't believe they won today. I can't believe they won last night. After Tuesday night's loss, I thought very little of this team, and I still don't think that highly of them in their current form. They're banged up. Their bullpen has lots of question marks. But my concern coming out of Tuesday night's game was, and I led the show with this yesterday, if you can't win that game, when you get a 3-run home run from Jake Bowers and a home run from your backup catcher and Miz is on the hill and pitched really well, like there's not going to be many games you can win. And then when you know it, Chad Patrick was awesome and Brandon Sproat was awesome, and they found a way to play just enough small ball to scratch a couple runs across, and they won 2 games by a score of 2-1 because, of course, they're the Brewers and they do what you think they can't do. Text from Clemhead Mike on the subject of name dropping. Picture of his son and Leroy Butler. Yeah, I mentioned that I rode an elevator with James Jones, and that is opened a door. Madtown Ryan, the thing with Joey Ortiz is we all saw this last year and this year, and he's gotten worse. That's why. I don't know if he's gotten worse. He's just the same player. And they didn't add to the infield this offseason. They subtracted. Now, you could say Jet Williams. Oh, okay, but Jet Williams is on the same kind of progression level as Cooper Pratt. So they have another player in the system, but he's no closer than the other guys they already have in the system who ostensibly they like more. Cone Roller says, does the current geopolitical situation impact Neil Diamond Week? Neil Diamond Week is next week, by the way. So geopolitical, what, like the war in Iran? Or is there, so I'm not minimizing that. I'm racking my brain to think if there's a current geopolitical situation that's like specific to Neil Diamond. And I got no, Neil Diamond Week goes on. It felt wrong doing it this week though, because there was so much news on Monday. So people are tuning in. We got to talk about Chris McIntosh, and we got to talk about what's wrong with the Brewers, and the Packers traded Dontavian Wicks, and the Masters just happened. And I would have felt a little silly if, we're opening the show with Crunchy Granola Sweet, which we will do on Monday, whether or not something happens this weekend or not. Like it's just going to happen. Madtown Ryan follows up. Monday is 420. Maybe start Neil Diamond Week a day late and have Bob Marley Monday. Ha ha ha. This 715 text says, come on, Grant. Bill's audience is in Milwaukee. Yours is up here. We don't care about the NBA. I don't know that that's true. I don't know that Bill's audience cares much more about the NBA than this audience does. I don't know that to be sure or not, but I know it's not a certainty or a fact as you have presented it. Thank you as always, though. I like Justin. He's a fun guest every once in a while. Look, we didn't spend a million hours talking about who the Bucks are going to hire. We're just talking about some big picture stories. And that Trader Joe's story is pretty funny. I can see Justin. Justin is he's not a talkative social butterfly. Like, he's not a salesman type. I can just picture him sitting in the back corner of Trader Joe's with his phone. Someone like, can I watch? And Justin being like, sure. Yeah. That was probably the extent of it. 608-321-1670. Wisco Sports Show. Who's this?
Well, things ain't always what they seem. So wake up, Grant. Mad Max in the tunnels under race scene.
This is perfect, Mad Max. You can take us right into our final break before we connect with Zach and Ebo. What's going on?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I don't really know what we were talking about. I was fighting some fires at the end of the workday, getting some things done. But yeah, last night was kind of crazy, and I was taken out of my natural habitat as the tunnels were flooding. So I had to sleep above ground, and I was just monitoring the situation above ground, and it was kind of crazy. And the weather did help the Brewers win last night. I know you saw the quotes from Sal about how he dropped that bunt down into that wet spot. And it kind of got that rally going yesterday, and I think it led to the series win today.
That spot in front of home plate, and then there was a couple in the outfield as well. I listened to the broadcast of the Blue Jays team. The Canadian broadcasters were like, "There's some rain coming through. The roof's doing its darndest, but a little sneaking." That, like, the Canadian broadcasters were so polite and basically saying the roof is leaking and this game is a nightmare.
Yeah, and I hope we get some of that tax money that we're paying to fix the roof, because I know it's always been a problem, but they were saying too that it's like not airtight, so I guess there is a way to improve it so that no water comes in at all. But I don't know a whole lot about roofs and how they were built, and if there's a way to improve that. But one thing I wanted to comment just about the Brewers in general, obviously huge to get these last 2 wins, and just when you're hurt like you've been, like, you really have to scratch and claw to get these wins. But yeah, I don't really like the way Pat Murphy is managing the pitching staff right now. It's just kind of bothering me how he had Chad Patrick last night. He had Woodruff the other day, and now Sproat today. They're cruising through like 75 to 80 pitches, and then he just pulls them, but he's overworking the bullpen every night. even when they're not pitching that well. So I don't know if that's like a Pat Murphy thing or if it's like an organizational thing that they're passing down on him. I don't know if Pat's kind of infected by the nerds in baseball saying that you can't throw pitchers more than 2 times through the lineup, even though they're doing well, or if it's just him going by his gut. Like, I think this guy's going to lose it. I'm going to take him out.
So I don't know. Mad Max, I appreciate it. I got to run. You have a good night, okay?
Yeah, thanks, Grant.
Just today's game specifically, I don't know why we needed to get Aaron Ashby in for the final out of the 7th. Like, just that one specifically. We could talk about Woodruff, how they're protecting him, or we could talk about, like, just specifically today. If you're comfortable sending Sproat out there for 7, and Murph has said, well, he hasn't been up and down 7 times. Well, you sent him out there for the 7th, and he got the first 2 outs quickly. Did we need to get Aaron Ashby into that game? Like, just that one thing. Just Aaron Ashby. Just the Aaron Ashby. Did we need that? I don't think so. We can nitpick, reliever usage elsewhere, but just that one today, I'm like, I might have sent Sproat back out there for the 8th. What the hell? He only had like 75 pitches. All right, we'll connect with Zach and Ebo. They are positioning at Monk's in Sun Prairie for Thorson and Heilprin. It's the season finale, so you're not going to miss this one.
This is the Wisco Sports Show with Grant Bills on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 3 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 2 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 1 minute. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 30 seconds.
Line 1, good morning.
A Quincy Ocho, white double, white double.
Excuse me, your balls are showing.
AC in Bonerville. Hey.
Hey, AC.
AC in Partyville this morning. I've been laughing at that since this morning because I'm a child. Little taste of just what our network has to offer and our funny listeners. You can meet them all and hang out with Ebo, host of Over the Line, Zach Heilprin, our sports director. Of course, he does the camp with Jesse Temple, or as Dave kept calling him earlier, Jesse Nelson. Zach and Ebo, bittersweet night tonight. The season finale of Thorson and Heilprin. This is painful.
40 weeks later, we have reached the season finale.
We have reached completion.
Yes, we are.
Hey,
Yes.
speaking of completion, I have some breaking news, Grant Bills.
What's that?
There it is.
And speaking of Bonerville, we have a new follow on Twitter and a new confirmation of someone agreeing to come on the show to talk about weather.
Leave me out of this.
I will explain more after the top of the hour. We have Grant achieved our goal.
No, but you said achieved completion. You didn't say achieved a goal. You used the word completion, and when this guest comes on the show, I want you to word it exactly that way.
She knows I'm a 5-star man. We're good. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. What do you guys have planned for
the implication?
The show is probably going to reach its climax at right about the time she comes on.
Well, we're gonna talk about some implications. It's all about the implications, okay?
Okay.
Not the climax of the show?
Huh?
Not the climax of the show?
We're gonna go in for the scraps.
Okay.
If you will. Hey, Grant.
Tonight's show, the finale of Thorson and Heilprin. What special things do you have planned for the next hour of radio out at Monks?
Well, we've been drinking for the last 2 hours sitting here,
Yep.
so we've got.
So who knows?
So really could be anything, Grant. And
Now-
I know you're going. I know you're not going to be here.
It pains me.
Um,
I have.
does it though?
I have ticket. Yes, but I am very excited. I'm going to see a comic on State Street, and I was actually going to ask Zach. They have a 2-drink minimum. Can you come pick me up? I need a
Hey,
ride.
there's AC in Partyville and his lovely lady. Bonerville has arrived.
Bonerville.
Hunks at Monks, he calls it, by the way.
Hunks at Monks. That's well.
Yeah.
They were here last
It
week.
is true, yeah.
So you
Hunks at
can't
Monks.
come get me, Zach?
So you have 2 drinks there. Is that what you're saying?
Well, they have a 2-drink minimum. Yeah.
2-drink minimum.
I want to be a
2-drink
good
minimum.
patron.
All right. Well, I'm already over the 2-drink minimum here.
Great. Yeah. All right.
So no, I will not be able to come get you, but I will send an Uber your way for sure.
That's fine. That's fine. Look, I genuinely.
I know you can't afford it, obviously, living in that palace that you live in.
I don't know why that was
Hey,
necessary.
but stay tuned for the breaking news I have after top of the hour.
I was just going to say, I'm excited to hear what you guys have to talk about. It's going to be a great show tonight. Thank you for joining me.
I love you.
Thanks, Grant.
I love you,
too.
Ebo. Zach, I love your work. AC in Bonerville, he'll be there tonight. Maybe Corey and Marshall will stop by. Monks and Sun Prairie to our Madison listeners.